Hello, I'm going to be talking about the Karkhovka Dam. I started making a video actually and realised it was going to be too long, so I decided to divide it up into three sections. First of all, the ecological disaster, then the who done it, and then the how done it. Oh no, another one, and then the why done it. So before I carry on, I'm going to be talking now about the ecological bit, and I'm Granniopteryx. I'm on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute and Minds. I'm also on Twitter and Gab. That's where I'll let you know when I've uploaded a new video. All the links to those are in the description. Also the links to donations if you want, but the best you can do for me is click that like button and share and subscribe. And again, if you're on YouTube, check you are actually still subscribed. That's not a given. Okay, so let's talk about the ecological disaster. Here's a map of the area. The proportions of this disaster are I don't think it's possible to imagine how bad it is really. The water, you see what happened here was a river, floodplains all around it, and then in the 50s Stalin decided to make a hydroelectric station here and a dam and use the backed up water, which is mostly here. Looks like a diagram of the stomach, doesn't it? And anyway, for agricultural irrigation, and that's fine as long as the dam is in position. But now the dam is broken, and all of this area, all of this water is coming right down here. Let's see if I can make this a bit bigger. Yeah, all of this water, it's a huge lake, is coming down here, through the hole here, and into this floodplain, and then into the Black Sea, carrying with it the contamination of drowned animals. So apart from anything else, there must be thousands of drowned animals, farm animals, and there was a zoo. There was a zoo full of caged animals. Just think about that for a minute. Anyway, apart from the drowned creatures, which would have included some humans, of course, the water is now full of oil from the turbines, because this was a hydroelectric station as well, and those turbines used fuel oil to run them. And all of that is washing down this river, and then it's finally, let's make this a bit smaller, it's going into the Black Sea. Now, I don't know how much of that stuff there is, but it can go into the Black Sea. With the oil, that's going to be on the surface. The Black Sea is quite deep, but much of this stuff is going to be on the surface. And it's going to be washing up in Romania, in Bulgaria, on this side, Georgia, Armenia, Turkey, and depending on how much, it's going to end up going through here and then getting into the Mediterranean. That in itself, and you know, rotting animal matter, it won't all sink to the bottom. It's going to affect the coasts of all the surrounding countries. If it gets into the Mediterranean, well, I just want to remind you of this here, Santorini, which used to be called Thera. It was the centre of the Minoan Empire, you know, around, I don't know what, 16,000 BC. When that went up, they were writing about it in Egypt. They were carving stele in Egypt, detailing the destruction that explosion caused. Now, admittedly, that was an explosion, but that's like well over 500 miles away, 600 miles away, something like that. And it was knocking down buildings in Egypt. So, you know, stuff comes out the Black Sea, it pours straight into the Mediterranean. It'll be washing up in all sorts of places around here. And I think even in China around that time, they were talking about sandy yellow skies and unseasonable frosts. Anyone who thinks that this is here a far country of which we know nothing and which doesn't concern us, doesn't know their history. We're living in a global economy now. Some might be hit worse, but no one is going to escape this. Remember the Egyptians and the Chinese, and that was when those guys didn't even know about the existence of each other. That's why the attitudes of all of us here and in the USA, as far afield as Australasia, are important. What do I think about the disaster? Well, disease often follows things like this. And remember, there's plenty of stuff that will cause disease around here. Then there's famine. In this case, grain shipments, which used to go from around here to North Africa and other parts of the Middle East. They're going to be more disrupted now than they were before. And then there's the disruption in the financial and commercial markets. Even China is involved in that. But in this video, I'm talking about the ecological disaster. And I want to know, Greta Thunberg, where's your voice? Do I hear you? I don't hear a thing. No? Extinction Rebellion here in Britain. A big fuss about this? Not a word of it. AOC, do I hear anything from you? Has anyone heard of anything? The Australian Greens? The silence of the grave. And it makes you wonder if the Green parties are pushing for the ecology in their enthusiasm to stop people using oil, plenty of which is now winging its way down to the Black Sea, or are they pushing for something else, something that has nothing to do with the ecology? It does make you wonder, doesn't it? Anyway, that is the end of my first video about the ecological effects of this awful disaster. The next one is whodunit. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the granniopteryx design or Grambo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.granniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share, share, share.